Welcome to I Am Goddess Collective podcast, a sacred space for empowerment through modern magic, spiritual activism, and reclaiming your power. I am your host, Nixie Marie, feng shui practitioner, earth activist, and mystic, here to support and inspire your journey in becoming the change you wish to see in this world. That change starts within. Join myself and fellow thought leaders, metaphysical experts, and luminaries each week as we explore practical and magical ways to living in your highest alignment. Your journey as an empowered goddess begins here. Let's dive in. Well, hello, Divine Sisters. Welcome back to another amazing day on I Am Goddess Collective podcast. I am very excited because we have a beautiful blue goddess sister. She is decked out in blue right now. Her hair is blue, her shirt's blue. I wish you guys could see it. But we've got Genecia, Alluora on the podcast today. Hello, beautiful.
Hi, Nixie. Thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah, it's an honor to sit and be able to communicate and chat with other fellow sisters doing amazing things out in the world. So Genecia is actually the founder of a company called Soul Rich Woman, and she's also the former Miss Singapore. So she's a founder of the Soul Rich Woman, and also which is the #1 female entrepreneur network in Southeast Asia. So that connects more than 12,000 women across the region with presence in 7 countries, including Singapore, Malaysia, the Philippines, Vietnam, and Indonesia. So wow, you're awesome.
Thank you.
Well, I love to start the podcast, and it's funny because I already see the crystals behind you, but I always ask my guests, like, what crystals are you currently working with and why?
Sorry, what is the word?
Crystals. Crystals, yes.
Right now, I'm working with the Herkimer diamonds. So they are really cool. I think they are really amplifying intentions as well. So I'm working with them at the moment, yeah.
Wow, that sounds like a statement coming from someone that is founded by the Soul Rich Woman. That's beautiful. Are you a coffee or tea girl?
I am a coffee girl because I used to run a coffee retail chain. So after 4 years, we successfully exited to a public listed company. During this time, I learned all about coffee. And of course, for me, my role was more PR and marketing in the business. So I was doing just that.
That's amazing. It sounds like you probably know a lot more about coffee than I do then. Well, tell us a little bit about what Soul Rich Woman is, and how you originally got started with something that's rooted in empowering women.
Well, Soul Rich Woman simply means for women who love the F-word, being fabulous, having freedom, and financial independence. And being fabulous simply means that you are confident, having freedom of choice to do what you want to do. And then, being financially independent simply means that you have the money, either your expenses is way much lower than your income so that you can be financially free. And also, being able to make decisions to buy things for yourself, to where your ability is not being affected by a man. So literally that is what a soul rich woman means. And how I got started, really little bit about my backstory. I kind of started when I was very, very young, because I started working when I was 14 years old, because my family financially, we were not sound. And so my mother pawned her gold and sent me for different certifications. So I went for aerobics, yoga, and line dancing. So I was these 3 instructors. During this time, I was also bullied in school because I wasn't rich. So, like mean girls, they'll come up to you and then they will open my shirt during activity classes, and then they will look at my bra, and then they will laugh at me and say, "Oh, you're wearing the same bra," that kind of thing. And there were incidents where my self-esteem did take a hit. But during the time when I was working very hard, I always tell myself that my big why has always been my family, my mother, my brother, and my father. So because of that, I kept myself going. And I had the first taste of entrepreneurship during this whole journey when I was about 18, when I asked myself, how can I make more during a period of time, during a single hour? Because when I'm in school, that sometimes I only can teach like 3 days a week. Right. So in the 3 days, how can I make more, right? Then let's say I work more than a single week. So I put together a group of instructors where I supplied them to organizations and events, and that within a single hour, let's say I have 10 instructors, I would make more than what I usually make within a single hour by my own effort. Few years later, my friends encouraged me to join Miss Singapore. So that's how I got started. I went into modeling. I went and joined Miss Singapore, and I won. And yeah. And that was a very big breakthrough because it really opened a lot of doors and allowed me to see worlds that I've never seen. During this time, I got certified as an image consultant, and my clientele, because of my experience having taught classes, moving from a group of 10 all the way moving to a group of 1,000. To me, teaching was never an issue. So immediately after I won, I got the certification. And then my clientele were like CEOs of companies, politicians of Singapore, and the rest is history. But by the time I reached 2011, I was asking myself, because I had a quarter life crisis, where will I be seeing myself teaching and training for the rest of my life, which is meaning like if I work, I get paid. I work, I get paid. I don't work, I don't get paid. So during this period that I was having this crisis, I took action. I invested in myself. I took about $100,000 worth of courses, buying from online, attending master classes, and trying to figure out what is this whole online thing all about. Eventually, I did figure out. So in 2012, within 3 months, I made $100,000. Within 1 year, I made $1 million. So that was my first ever pot of gold. Yeah. And during this time, so 1 year after, my partners, they said, do you want to start a cafe retail chain together? So because my strength is in PR and marketing, and that's how I got started, I combined forces and I invested in this business, started from scratch. And we built to 3 countries, Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia. We had 7 franchisees and 11 licensees. Wow. After 4 years, we exited to a public listed company. During this entire cafe whole thing, where I was talking about coffee and I was based in Indonesia, I just felt that something was missing. Even though I was making money, even though I was like living my dreams, doing what I want to do, running a very successful business, but I just felt that something was missing. So during the time I was based in Indonesia, I had a webcam, I had internet, and I was like, okay, I think I got to try something, right? Do something other than just running my offline retail business. So every Wednesday, I turn on my webcam and I go on live. Back then it was webinars. I run webinars every single Wednesday. It's called Webinar Wednesday. It has like this whole jingle to it, And I went on live and I taught women how to do online business, how to do e-commerce, how do you do branding, how do you do like attract clients online. And there was no viewers, like 0. Because I just started, right? So I had 0 viewers. So because I mastered the art of the F word, which is funnels and Facebook ads, and that helped me to own my traffic, which means to say I was able to slowly grow the community from 0 to my first 10 to my first 500, and then the rest is history. So that's how I got started. And it was called, back then it was not called So Rich Woman, it was called another name. It's called You Are Possible Academy. But my community felt that they wanted something that resonates with them rather than feeling like they're going to a university. So therefore I did a rebranding. I did do a rebranding, and eventually we are called Soul Rich Woman. So that's how actually we got started. Soul Rich Woman is the platform that help women to own the F word. by helping women to go from offline to online, getting clients online, brand recognition online, and also really understanding how do you have it all. Because I find that women either have the one F, they only believe they can have one F, or the other, which is either I'm fabulous and then I'm not financially independent, or they're financially independent, they are not, they're not really fabulous, or they are not really having freedom because they're slaves to their time. So that's why I talk a lot about, how do you delegate as well? How do you go online and hire a team and things like that, So that's what I'm really passionate about, and helping women to own the F word, because success is never about glorious wins. It's about taking a step back, letting other women shine as well, so that, they can truly, truly leverage and have shortcuts to success rather than taking the long highway.
Wow. What an amazing, inspiring story. That is awesome see that you kind of come from this place of going from like just being bullied to creating a whole new mindset around success. And it sort of leads me to a lot of the things that I'm hearing you say is that success and money and financial freedom and owning the F word sounds like it starts in the mind. So what were some like stories or conversations that you had to shift within yourself to bring forth like a wealth mindset?
One of the things is to learn to receive. I think for me, sometimes we are very independent. We don't really know how to ask for help. We can do it all, right? So one of the big shifts for me was to really keep working on myself and saying, I'm open and willing to receive. So one of the mantras I always do is, so here is how it goes, okay? Don't laugh, right? So I will say, universe, okay, if anyone has something great and given to them and they're not willing to take it, send them to me. I'm open and willing to receive all of your blessings. This is my time. I'm ready for the next step.
Wow, that definitely gives me some chills. Do you guys get that? You might have to rewind that one and write that down. That is beautiful though. Yeah, receiving is a big part of, I really believe, stepping into an empowered woman. We've been trained and programmed to not receive and to, give and overplease and overexert ourselves so that we're left with nothing. And our cup is now, not full with our own self-loving practices. What exactly was your story before you, like what created this big shift for you where you really were able to say yes to receiving from the universe and not like blocking or sending it all back to whoever else is asking for it like you?
Well, I think for me, winning Miss Singapore really opened doors. It was that time that I went into personal development courses where it changed a lot of my money mindset. I went into understanding forgiveness. I learned to let go, your anger, your like decisions that you make during childhood that you never knew you made. So there was a lot of work that I did. In fact, I went to Taiwan for a year in 2017 and I was just doing nothing. I was just doing sabbatical and I was just like, because I need to finish my reign as Miss Singapore in 2006. And then after that, 2007, I said, okay, I got to do something for myself. So that's how I go into a whole journey of self-healing. So all these big pieces, how do I know when I shifted? I feel that it's more of how do you gain that awareness first? So first you must be willing to go for these programs, right? Because you know that you are ready to shift. So right now, like for me, I'm in the next shift. So I'm working with Herkimer Diamonds and Moldavite. So I'm moving to the next shift, right? So before that, I was shifting first based on my awareness, knowing what was some of my issues. And I have a very, very interesting incident because I basically understood that when I think about something and it happens like maybe 1 week down the road, I knew that, blockages are getting lesser. I'm more open to receive. So when you think about something and you're visualizing, you're doing your daily rituals, and then when things just happen, whatever you think just come to pass, it's just like, okay, you know that, and I know that I own it already. So that's how I kind of come to my awareness of, when I really understood and when I really was able to fully comprehend the meaning of being able to receive.
Yeah, stepping into your power. Wow, amazing. So do you find that when you work with women that there's a commonality of what they tend to struggle with around money?
Ooh, they don't like to talk about money.
There you go.
Many women that is within our community don't like to talk about money. Either they roll from credit card to credit card, or they are in debts because they are just spending on things on what they think is important versus on what really is important. And actually, our education is one of our biggest things that cause us to downfall, because first of all, women are not taught to talk about money. And in our culture as well, women are told that, okay, if you graduate and then you go get married, find a good job, have kids and start a family. So conversations was all about the feminine side of, giving birth and, starting a family, rather than really talking about that energy of money or money itself, right? So actually money is so simple. I mean, like if your expenses is less than your income, naturally, if you are able to maintain a certain level of, buffer, you would be financially free, because financial freedom simply means that expenses less than what you make all the time. Yeah. So if you understand that, then it will be so easy. But women don't like to talk about it. And the way to overcome it is to really find a place, a safe space to start addressing these issues and realizing what are some of your limiting beliefs or holding on about money. Find an environment, play a cash flow game, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or read the book Rich Woman by Kim Kiyosaki. Do something about it, right? Get started somewhere.
Wow, great advice. I just actually started reading the book You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero, and it was awesome. And some of the things that I think I've learned just on my journey, and it's so divine that you're here to talk about this, was that it was exactly that. It was hard for me to have the conversation to the point where I would cringe up and like go into a complete hermit mode because I wouldn't want to talk about it. But I do believe, like, even just being able here now to sit on a podcast and have this discussion, and for whoever is listening and for the ladies out there that get to receive this, what would you say other than them like talking about it? Like where should they start?
Wow. Where should they start? I think you should start with acknowledging and forgiving yourself if you have made any bad decisions, money decisions that in the past, either if you're in debt or whether by choice or not by choice, I think forgiving yourself is a good start and a good place to be in, and then loving yourself, because only through these two exercises, like for example, I forgive myself and I set myself free. This is my time and I'm ready for the next step. And then you go on to love yourself. Then look at the money again and then address it. So there are some behaviors also to complement this psychological part of it, which is how do you handle money, right? When the money comes in, are you an avoider? Avoider is someone who don't looks at your bills. That means like if all your bills come in, are they sitting at one corner of the room on the table? You don't even want to open them. And then you just keep receiving these letters or read bills that you don't touch at all. Or are you a saver? Saver meaning that you love to keep the money. You don't really like to spend. So that's a good sign. But savers are also not someone who loves to take risk. Or are you a money monk? Money monk simply means, are you someone who, is very spiritual and then feel like you can't have money together with your spiritual side? It's like spirituality or money, right? Because during our time that we're being brought up, it says that, someone told you that God would not love you if you're rich. Okay. So for example, things like that. And it probably cause an embed within you. And then another personality type that I usually see are spenders. So spenders, even though we love to spend and we see things and just buy. But spenders are also people who are also very impulsive and make decisions fast. So with whatever category you belong to, it's always good to, address it and look at it and say, I accept for who I am and I'm willing to improve. I'm willing to work on myself. So I think this is how women can get started rather than judging and saying that, oh, I'm so lousy, you know, I'm in debt now, I'm so lousy, I'm so poor, da 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 da. And then it just goes on, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's not the space to be, good space to grow, rather. So move yourself from the space of negativity to the place of forgiveness and love. And from there, identify which are you. Are you a money monk? Are you a avoider? Are you a spender? Are you a saver? From there, you recognize who you are and then you move. That would be a better choice.
That's awesome. So when you found these like 4 different personality types and, you know, you work with each and every one of them, I'm sure so much differently because everybody has this mindset, like let's just take like the overspender for a minute and take a look at some of the personality, like the traits that they have. What do you think initially triggers them to make those rash decisions or those impulsive decisions?
All behaviors stem from beliefs that is within us that's formed during our childhood days. There is definitely some connections. But one of the things about spenders, there's usually pros and cons, like I said. The cons are we are impulsive, we just buy, we don't think, buy now, think later, we kind of have that. But we could be also good in, making decisions fast, like earlier on I've said. So whatever circumstances you may be in or whatever types that you could be in, there's always a way out by bringing it to your awareness. So I feel that is key. Yeah, by being aware first, then you work on yourself, able to unlearn and then to relearn.
Do you have some like rituals, money rituals or anything that you implement into your daily routine to help you shift into those mindsets, the positive, non-self-beat up mindsets?
Oh, yes. I do have one that I do almost every day, which is one that I catch myself. Let's say if I do have some negative mindset or belief that comes in my way, like when I'm doing something just pops in my mind, I will just write it down, open up my notebook, just write it down. Even though I'm in a meeting, I just catch myself and put it in my notebook, right? Either in a phone or with pen and paper. Then at night, I would use this exercise where I visualize a belief. This is called a belief shift, right? So a belief shift simply means that you first address what's no longer true and then address what's true. So let's say if you catch yourself a negative belief and you want to make it, because we want to let the negative belief be no longer true. So imagine a situation in the past that is no longer true. So for example, you were once 21 years old. You were once 18 years old, right? Say forever 21 or forever 18, right? So imagine the time, go back to that space, right? What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? Right? So bring that picture up and make it brighter, make it louder if there's sound, make it clearer. And then make that negative belief, imagine that negative belief, bringing it to your front and ask yourself, what do you see? And then mapping it, bringing this negative belief over and onto the belief that was no longer true, and then clap, seal it right there. It's as though it's no longer there. And then this work actually cancels off the negative belief. And whatever that you remove from yourself, you must put a coin back, right? You must replace it because you can't just leave it empty. So then you do the work of the positive belief. So imagine something now that is true and absolutely true. That means nothing can change it whatsoever. So does the sun rise up every single morning? Well, the answer is yes, usually. So then do you have a picture, right? So you then ask yourself, what is the belief that you like to replace with that positive, that negative belief, right? So what do you want to replace in that situation? So you say out the positive belief that you want to change. And then same thing, you imagine that, like for example, the sun, imagine on your face, maybe you're at the beach, right? If you love scuba diving, like me, I love scuba diving. And then you bring that new positive belief and then anchor it with that visual and that feel, the visual and the feel of that beach, right? Or that you have. And by doing so, you anchor in and you replace it with the negative belief. over the negative belief, right? With the new positive belief. So these whole exercises help me to keep doing the work, because it's like life is like a box of tissue paper. It's like whenever you just pull something out, the thing just keeps coming up. Whenever you thought that you're healed or you've cleared something just keeps coming up. So I think it's a never ending journey, that we are just being who we are on this planet Earth. And we want to be able to address all these as we go, because truly, do you want to be rich or do you want to be right? Right. For me, I want to be rich, right? And in order not to be right in a way like, oh, I'm stubborn, I'm a perfectionist, if we keep going that way, that old way, then just look at the results in your life, because whatever is in your reality is what you have manifested, is what you have, kind of put yourself in that situation, either consciously or unconsciously. So doing ritual works like that helps me to be centered and helps me to be aligned.
That's really cool. I love those shifts. It's like changing a new story. And when you talked about the ocean and dive, are you a diver or just scuba dive?
Yeah, scuba diver. Yeah, I'm a rescue diver.
Oh my God, amazing. I just got certified actually this like a couple months ago out in La Paz, Mexico.
Oh, so. I love the sea. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've got blue hair, so.
Mermaid.
Yes, she's a mermaid. I knew it. Well, what are some like really powerful lessons that you've learned along your journey in becoming an entrepreneur and starting a business?
One of the big lessons is always to unlearn and then relearn. I think this is one that I've picked up, because like for me, I run a cafe retail chain, it's offline. And then how do you actually go online? When people are telling me, okay, Janeshia, you should go online, right? Online, what does it mean? Does it mean that it's a Facebook page? Does it mean it's a Instagram? Does it mean it's a LinkedIn? I mean, is it a social media platform? Well, I want to say it's not. Online doesn't mean that when you have all these social media accounts, it means that you're online. Having a website doesn't say and mean that you're online. So knowing to what to unlearn in order to relearn is super important. So what exactly is online? Online is when you are able to master the F word, having funnels and having traffic by doing Facebook ads and other ways like Google ads or the way that it is. Because in a sea of fishes, in the ocean where there is like pomfret, there is like garupa, or whatever types of fish, dolphins and sharks, right? These are potentially your clients, potentially your customers. But how do you actually catch all these fishes and then bring them to you, right? So when you are in the ocean, you have to learn how to let people say yes to you, collect their emails, and allowing that opportunity for you to own the traffic, for you to own this opportunity to build the relationship with them. Then from there, be able to kind of nurture them to becoming eventually your customers. And online is very noisy. It takes, last time it takes about 7 times to get a customer to love you and know you. Now it takes up to 15 to 21 times before they even trust you. So I think the big shift is to unlearn, then relearn, and then finding a mentor as well who has been there, done that, because things are changing and the constant is change. And if you know how to find someone who has done it, just follow, model after rich and successful people. Don't need to reinvent the wheel, I'm not asking you to copy. I'm asking you to model after. Is there something that you can learn from this rich and successful people who has made it online, right? Is there something you can learn from? So be open and be sensitive to that.
How many of you guys out there are ready to be rich? I was just seeing like a swarm of everybody's, excited and looking forward to really creating a lifestyle. I think this is something that I see oftentimes. We're a spiritually based podcast, which incorporates a lot of women empowerment conversations, right? But a lot of times in these spiritual communities, we have that belief that you mentioned earlier, where it's like, well, I'm spiritual, so I can't have the shoes, I can't wear the lipstick, I can't have the fake eyelashes, all of those things. And again, it goes back to the belief about that. And I really believe that, now that we're shifting and I'm shifting and I'm looking forward to the things that I've been manifesting. But at the end of the day, for those that are of that mindset, what would you say to support them in shifting that belief, other than these awesome other rituals you have said?
I think is for me, it's just to really recognize it and just work with someone to shift that out of the space. It's never a one day thing. Money is a very deep ingrained situation in our lives. So it's never a one day thing. So just be aware, recognize it, and then find someone to work with and then move through it. Be willing and be open. Yeah.
Yeah, you talk about awareness a lot, and I can definitely tell you've done a lot of work within that and being aware and, being conscious of your surroundings. So when you stepped into your reality now, did you believe that you would be living this life? Was it ever something that crossed your mind, or did you just have to really start to, like you said, receive and allow for it to come through?
I never would thought I would be living the life now per se, because I started, like I say, I'm 14 and, my family were poor. So, I didn't have the ability to buy new bags every single time, buy new shoes every single time. I didn't have that. And during, even when I was Miss Singapore, everyone had like 5-10 pairs of shoes. And I'm like trying to save money to even scream for a pair of silver heels and a pair of black heels and trying to buy other things. So it's really, really not easy, I would say. But I think the big thing for me will be knowing that, I can be financially free, and my part-time business is managing and investing my money and creating passive income streams. So through my years, I keep telling myself that, and, my full-time is I do what I love to do, which is, helping women and empowering women through my network. And my part-time business is managing and investing my money and and creating passive income streams. So that is something that I am actually working on. And through that journey, then things start to unfold. And like I said, when you start to put in a vision board and then you visualize what you want, like I said, whatever you think of becomes your reality. And whatever your reality is right now, it really reflects what you're thinking. So you want to change your life, change your thoughts, right? So if I were to say, imagine this sexy, beautiful elephant in pink bikini, what do you think of?
I think of an elephant in a pink bikini.
Yeah, precisely. So whatever that you focus on becomes your reality. Whatever you focus on expands. So really, really be open to look into your thoughts.
Yeah. Why do you feel like it's so important for women to become financially free today?
Because we deserve it. Because we deserve it. We deserve it all along. It's just that education didn't teach us, right? Our education system didn't teach us to talk about money or learn how to be financially free. We were all just told to come out and work in the jobs and then have career paths and then get married and have kids, right? So nobody really do that. And of course, in our family, our generations before us who maybe were not entrepreneurs, you would not know how it would be like to be an entrepreneur, right? Until somebody has done it. So it's always somebody have done it before and it's possible. So then we think that it's possible, right? So her success is not about you losing. Her success simply means that it's possible. So keep running until your bank account looks like your phone number.
That is adorable. I love that.
How many numbers are there on your phone in LA? Well,
we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got 9. If we add the 1, that's 10.
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me. What would you say the difference is? We talk a lot about like abundance, right? And how we are abundant already as humans, as beings, as spiritual beings. What would you say like the differences between being financially abundant versus just being abundant beings?
Wow. I think, is there a real difference between these two? Let me see. I think whatever you think that you are, you become, right? So, but really financially free is the act of it. Means that you actually practice it, not just think about it. So that's my definition, right? A lot of people think that, oh, I'm rich, I'm happy, I'm thinking I'm it. But when you look at her surroundings, you look at their environment, their reality, it doesn't reflect that. Remember that. So being financially free simply means that your expenses is lower than whatever income that you're bringing in. And then you're financially free. It's that easy. Too many people make money so complicated. Money is simple. Money is easy. It's like as you understand how to keep your expenses low and know how to bring more income or set up passive income structures, that is when you are financially free. It doesn't have to be $1 million. Then you are financially free, right? It starts from that $1,000. Are you able to keep your expenses at $300 or $500 a month? And with the excess of $500, you are financially free. You are, because if you can keep within a certain amount, you are free, right? So it's all about the act of it, the behavior of it, being able to do it. So one of the books I recommend you to read is by T. Harv Eker. He talks about the money, how do you play the money game? How do you get your wealth mindset? I think that would be a good book to read.
All right. I'm going to write that down. Get your pen and paper that, ladies. Remind this. We'll put it in the show notes too, some of your recommendations here. So with all that and your vision and how you help support women. So Soul Rich Woman is it looked like it also is an event. And do you have online courses or you just do webinars? Like what does that actually look like if someone were interested in working with you?
So basically we have 3 levels of programs. We have the mentorship and coaching, which can be done online and also in person. So we serve clients across Southeast Asia. And in fact, some of my clients are global as well. And then we also have digital products that you can purchase over on the website. And of course, you can come over to our website and download free resources, which I highly recommend is to delegate 80% of your to-do list so that your assistant can help you to make money and you can function in your zone of genius. Yeah, so I think that's very important because the whole network here in Southeast Asia, if you want to join us, is also available. It's within a Facebook community, so you can get to know us and, get to know some sisters. If you're coming and traveling to Southeast Asia, we'll be happy to have you as well. Yeah, and of course, women who really want to go online, it doesn't have to be difficult. It's actually easy. And functioning in your zone of genius, outsourcing is also something easy to do. Do you go for manicures? Do you buy stuff, right? Do you go for hair spa? Do you go for massages? Now, if your answer is yes to any of these questions, you will have $50 a month or even $50 a week to invest back into your business, even if you're a newbie, even though you're just starting out or whatever phase of the business you're at. Outsource things that you hate so that you can do the things you love. And by doing things you love, you can be rich.
There you go. You do kind of bring this whole big challenging conversation into such an easy one. And I really believe that's your gift. You're definitely here to do that. So with that, what do you think and see for women? What is your vision for women in the world and in women's leadership?
What do I see in the world about women's leadership?
Yeah, what's your vision for women as a whole? Like, what do you see for women, let's say, in just the next 5 years, your overall vision and why you really ultimately help them with that financial freedom, the F word?
Yeah, it's the F word. My entire movement is the F word. So when women, they join us, before that they are maybe housewives, we have got like female entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. We also have got like really from all different walks of background, and some of them have like retail chains who join us as well because they want to go online, they want to get branding and recognition online. But the big thing I find that when they are at their own space, they are alone. So they are kind of like entrepreneurship is a lonely journey. Mm-hmm. So when they come onto the network, come into the space, we kind of give them this identity shift where we give them the superpower. We have a manifesto that allow them to wear this superwoman cape where they can function in their superpower, So by owning the F word, being fabulous, having freedom and financial independence, and whatever form the F word can be in. It doesn't have to be in my definition, because someone who is a stay-at-home mom for 10 years, the F word and the 3 F words could mean completely different things for someone who has already have an established business or a solopreneur, right? So there is always that ability to shift them, because when you can shift someone's alter ego, or what we call like give them an identity to be stronger, to be more confident, that's when they are more likely to succeed rather than, trying to use the same method over and over again, and knowing that your results is in your reality and it's the same thing. You can't use the same methods. You have to put on the superpower and be able to transform just that, which is the F word. So for me, it's to really empower 1 million women on the F word, to know that it's possible for all of them and all of you who's listening right now to have it all. You can have it all.
What is having it all look like to you? Is that like having the financial freedom, having the relationship, having, what is that definition for you? I know everybody kind of has their own, but what is yours?
It's like that spark, that energy and that happiness that you go through. Like every morning, I don't know about you, but do you drag your feet out of bed? Like, do your alarm clock have to be snoozed 10 times before waking up? I think all these are telltale signs whether you are a happy person or you dread life. So for me, I am very happy because when I'm just excited about life, I'm just excited about that thing I'm doing right now. And I'm just, every day is like a holiday, I don't feel like I'm working. I don't feel like I am in a job, or even though I'm running a business with a big team of 21, I don't think that it's difficult. I mean, there are challenges definitely in business, but that whole excitement, that motivation, that momentum, I would say, is just there. So versus, so I'm very excited. I'm always looking forward to like the next moment. And one more thing I would like to add is always have a bucket list to really look at it, and also have a vision board. So a bucket list and a vision board goes hand in hand, like the things that you set out to accomplish, and the vision board to what actually you want to have, and whether you could bring that into reality, because whatever you think of is your reality. Whatever you think of can appear into your life, right? So you need to be aware of that. Yeah. Wow. Well, this has been very fun. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing so much of your financial wisdom. Like I said in the beginning, it's not something that a conversation we've had too much on the podcast. And I was really calling it forth simply because like we said earlier, just having the conversation as a whole, just beginning there, I think that women, even when we get together, and my experience of some of like being in my mastermind groups, and we start to talk about, okay, what are your financial goals? Like every single month, where are you? And there's always a breakdown that then leads to a breakthrough. And I think that it's just this, hopefully podcast, the intention is that you find what it is, that you're struggling with financially, or so that you can shift it like the lovely Janeshia. I said that right. You're like a mermaid. So I was like, okay, she's like Janeshia mermaid or something. So I just, I hope that that's been really resourceful, and thank you again. We'll just wrap up our show here with a couple more questions. Where can everybody find you? Well, you can go to my website, soulrichwoman.com, SoulRichWoman.com, soulrichwoman.com. There you'll be able to download the free resource, How Do You Delegate 80% of Your To-Do List? And remember, alone you are strong, Together, we are unstoppable. Don't do money alone. If you are facing issues, remember to join a community where like-minded women can support you and go on a journey. So just keep on going, okay? And be a soul-rich woman. You are a soul-rich woman.
Well, thank you so much. Last and final question, how do you invoke your inner goddess?
By staying true to my heart and being authentic online and offline. That's how I invoke the goddess within me, because by doing that, I can shine. No matter the situation, no matter the circumstances, I'm always at my best.
Well, you definitely brought the sparkle to the podcast, so thank you so much. All right, sisters. Well, we'll definitely put all the links to Genecia's information. And do you have any events coming up or anything for those that might be in your area?
Well, I have an event with Kim Kiyosaki. We are working together. If you know Rich Dad Poor Dad. So Kim Kiyosaki is the author of Rich Woman. So we are going to have money conversations all in October. And it's going to be super cool, super amazing right here in Singapore. Yeah, so going to be all women event. So do check out soulrichwoman.com. Tickets are available right over there.
All right. Do you ever foresee coming to LA and doing any events?
Yeah, why not? I mean, we could do something together. And I think it's always good to, mastermind and have groups that you can connect with. I'll be happy to do that.
Yeah, we'd love to have you over here. All right, love. Well, thank you again so much. It has been such a joy to sit here with you. I love you all out there listening. Thank you for tuning in as always, and have an amazing rest of your day whenever you find yourself listening to this podcast. I love you. I see you. I hear you. Bye for now.